Good morning, everyone. We are going to tackle a good bit of topics today. First one being the lawsuit that was filed and finally settled. So a jury, as we all know, found that certain large brokerages were conspiring to keep commissions high. And it was, I believe it was a class action suit, and the suit won to the tune of $1.875 billion, billion with a B. So what does this mean to the industry, to us as agents, and to, I guess, the public moving forward? A couple things. Number one is the decision is most likely going to be appealed. So this thing's going to get played out in court for a while. Probably, I'd imagine, a good number of years, 2 to 3 to say the least. What this will also do, number two, is it will inspire other people to file other class action lawsuits against different brokerages. And I believe actually one has already been filed as a result of this one that just was handed down. You see the domino effect happening from the one lawsuit to the next. Now, the third thing that is going to come from this is, and this is very important for us as agents, the traditional business model of real estate and how business and transactions are conducted, it's going to change, it's changing, and it has changed. So let's go past, present, future. It's changed, it is changing, and it is going to continue to change. Now, what do I mean by that? So the old brick and mortar office way is becoming very expensive to operate. So these traditional brokerages that have storefronts, they're very expensive, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month to run, just to operate on a monthly basis. So as a result of these fees and like caps for different brokerages, they're all rising. I know this for a fact. I have friends that are in different brokerages, and they're telling me that these fees are increasing. I know of a competing brokerage right in my area, and the cap used to be, and by cap, I mean once you reach that number, the split becomes 100% yours. The cap on their brokerage was in the low 20s, 21, 22,000. It's at 30 right now, almost $30,000. And that's only been in the last couple years. So, and what we know is these lawsuits, so because these brokerages have to pay out, these large fees to these lawsuits, it trickles down right to the bottom of the pyramid, which is the agent. So your fees and your caps are increasing. We already know this to be true. So again, the traditional brick and mortar, those, the way transactions are processed and the actual the process of it itself, the transaction, that's changing. And so agents, this is only going to get worse for you when you see lawsuits like this happening. So, and more, look, money is going to now go to somewhere else other than you. When you, as an agent, you close a deal and you get your, the commission, more of that's going to go to somebody else, whether it's, third party, referral fees, your brokerage itself. It's just, taxes. It's going to go, a larger percentage of it is going to somebody else. So the cost of loan of this lawsuit is going to guarantee that. Now, there is good news here. And the good news is, and I've talked about this a lot over the years because it is paramount. It's the foundation of how myself and a lot of the elite builders do business. When you serve the public in the right way, now what do I mean by that? In whatever and in whatever sales capacity you're in, whether it's car sales, whether it's a floor salesman selling tile, selling granite, selling electronics, it doesn't matter. In whatever sales capacity you're in this instance, we happen to be in real estate. When you come from a place of contribution and not from a place of desperation, your clients know it and they feel it. Okay? You created a real relationship with them. And things like this lawsuit and all of, more of them that are going to come, they're not going to affect you. They're just not. And the reason is because, again, you're transacting in a way that's building real relationships. And your clients will feel that. They know that. Okay? Look, remember, every day as humans, we transact with other people. Whether it's you're on your way to work and you commute to work and you're buying coffee from someone, you're buying a newspaper from someone, you talk to the bus driver, you're sitting next to somebody on the bus. Like, we have interactions and transact with people every day, literally every day. So I say that to say, do you want to feel taken advantage of, or do you want to feel good and fulfilled when you are in these transactions? I know for me, I want to always feel good and fulfilled. So sellers are human beings too, and they feel the same way. All right. They want to feel good. They want to feel trusting with the agent that they work with. And so then the question becomes, and this is really important for you as agents, do you have the skills necessary to provide that value to the public? I will ask that question again. Do you have the skills necessary to provide that value to the public? Okay. What value do you provide to your industry that separates you from everybody else? Because look, let's call it what it is. Everyone knows someone who's in real estate. It doesn't, family member, friend, colleague, everybody knows somebody. So I'm not going to say we're a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of us out there because everybody thinks they can do it and, do it well, and they don't even study it. So imagine thinking you're going to be a professional in a field and you haven't even studied the field or know anything about what it takes to be a professional in that field. It's amazing. But real estate happens to be one of the only, fields of industry of work that people think that they can do that. Agents think they can do that right out of real estate school. So, again, do you have the skills necessary to provide that value to the public? What value do you provide to your industry that separates you from every other agent out there? All right. And if you don't know the answer to that or want to increase your skills, which is thus going to increase your income, just DM me the word skills. All right. Now, again, so this is when you operate from this perspective of coming from a place of contribution instead of coming from a place of just, I'm desperate to get a listing or desperate to work with a buyer. Again, the public can feel it, they know it, and when you're serving them in the right way possible, you will create an impactful relationship that will pay dividends to you over time for really the rest of the time you're in your career. So that's the first topic we're going to talk about today. Second topic we're going to talk about is Zillow buying Follow Up Boss. So for those of you out there who don't know, Zillow just bought or has agreed to buy Follow Up Boss. So what is Follow Up Boss? Follow Up Boss is a CRM. Many agents use it. I do as well. I've used it for a long time. Now, what I do know to be true is Zillow has tried for years to eliminate real estate agents and just have the public conduct these huge transactions, hundreds of thousands of dollars purchasing the homes, selling homes, millions of dollars if the property is over $1 million. They want us to do these transactions through a computer with no human interaction whatsoever. I personally think that you always need us as a professional to conduct these transactions. Along the way, Zillow has also become a bank, so you can finance your purchase through them, kind of like a one-stop shop. And then what they've also done is become an actual brokerage. Now, it was released, I believe this was a year ago to a year and a half ago, that their efforts to outbid agents for property using their algorithm resulted in a more than $500 million loss, $530 million Zillow lost when they reported this in 2022. That was their Zillow Offers program, okay? And it was initially reported that they lost $880 million. And this was on a failed flipping business that they opened. And that business was an algorithm-based platform. Okay? So again, Zillow's trying to use a computer to purchase property and then sell it at a profit or keep it and hold it. And they couldn't do either. So they ended up just selling property. So what happened was there was an algorithm-based property. When they realized they were underwater on was more than 7 out of 10 of those properties. They were just underwater on it. They had to start selling the properties off. And all of those homes that they then sold were the average loss of each home was a $25,000 loss per home. So that was a failed attempt for Zillow to try to eliminate us as agents based on an algorithm that they're using to sell property and buy property. So what does this mean that Zillow has now bought Follow Up Boss? What does that mean to us as agents? What does that mean to the industry as a whole? So to me, what I think what it reminds me of is companies like YouTube, Google, Apple, Facebook, and Tesla to an extent. Tesla, I say, because many people think that Tesla is just a car company, and it's not. Tesla's a data company. Tesla's looking to get data. So Tesla knows how fast you're going, where you're going, what side of the road you tend to ride more on, if you drive closer to the right or as opposed to closer to the left, if you drive at a very normal speed or if you tend to drive very fast and have a lead foot, if you use your blinkers all the time, if you, think Tesla, all of the stuff that you do in a car, Tesla knows what radio stations you listen to, what podcasts you listen to. It knows everything, how many phone calls you make, who you talk to on the phone while you're in your car. These are all things that Tesla knows based on the data that it collects from you and your experience of being in the car every time you're there. So what is all that? That's all information. And to me, that is what Zillow purchasing Follow Up Boss is. Because think about this, agents. Who is in your CRM? It's your clients. That's the information that Zillow wants. It's just like when you, as a homeowner or a buyer or a seller, you input information into Zillow to do a home search. Well, you're putting information in there, and Zillow now knows exactly what you're looking for. So then they start to bombard you with information. That's what they want. So the purchase of a CRM like that, they just want to me, it's no different. They just want, the information that's in there. Now, what it means in the short term and long term, I don't know. It remains to be seen. But what I do know is this. There are too many factors involved in a real estate transaction for someone not to use a real estate professional like a broker or an agent. There's just way too many. A computer or an algorithm can't factor in basic differences between properties, how to properly value one property versus another, if one's updated versus one not, one has a 2-car garage, one doesn't, one has, a renovated kitchen and bath, one does not. Zillow does not have the ability to delineate these two things and these factors in their algorithm. So that's where we come in as real estate professionals. So, and also remember too, there is a basic emotion of selling a property or buying your first property. There's an emotional attachment to that. So let's say, for example, I'd say this, a real estate sale it's not just numbers. Okay, a seller who's lived in their home for 50 years, that's not just a sale to them. There's an emotional component to that a computer, doesn't have the ability to figure out. So, the sale can be very emotional. It's very joyous. Can be very stressful. It takes patience, compassion, and especially with a seller who's owned a home for 50 years or a first-time home buyer who hasn't purchased a home yet. There is a level of compassion and patience that is needed to work with these people to get them what they want. And a computer cannot do that. Just doesn't have the ability to do it. So we are going to be needed. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is it comes back to we're in a tight market right now. Low inventory, properties it's competitive, but there's still tons of agents competing for those sellers and those buyers, which always takes us back to skills and value. What skills do you have that are going to separate you from all the other agents out there? And don't say to me like, I work hard. Dan, I'm going to work harder than that next person. I work hard too. I work just as hard as you, probably harder. I'm probably more disciplined than you are. So I don't want to hear I work hard. Everybody works hard. Okay? I don't want to hear I'll always be there for my client. I'm always there for them. They can call me any day of the week. Guys, that's nonsense. Everybody does that. Everybody can be available for that. That's not going to separate you from, the average Joe agent out there. It's not. So what skills, what value is going to separate you from those other agents out there? Because there's tons of them coming out of real estate school every month and signing up with different brokerages. So you need to have a value proposition as to what you can provide and what you can give to the public that is going to want them to work with you. I would always say that your skills in the industry, your knowledge of local markets, your ability to go the extra mile when needs be, scenarios come up. Do you panic and get nervous and scared and emotional, or are you calm as a cucumber and we'll figure this out? This happened, now let's figure it out. Do you focus on the problem instead of the solution? Are you problem focused or solution focused? These are all things that the public will watch and will see when they work with you. So, and their skills, their internal skills inside of you that you can, work on over time that will allow you to be, number one, the best version of yourself, but number two, the best version of yourself for the public that you're going to serve. And again, sellers, buyers will know within 5 minutes if they want to work with you or not, based on your demeanor, the energy you're giving off. And again, if you are coming from a place of desperation or if you're coming from a place of contribution. And if you don't understand or know which place you come from, just DM me the word skills and we can get started. All right. So those are some of the topics that I wanted to talk about today. But value is very important, especially in this market. And with all of these lawsuits and things going on, the good news is when you have skills, you have value, none of those things matter because, again, you're building solid and positive, healthy relationships with your clients who will rave about you to their friends, their family, their colleagues when they need help with real estate transactions. So, again, if you want to increase your value, if you want to increase your value to the marketplace and thus will increase your income, DM me the word value and we can have a discussion about that.